Other interesting political news, you have the Trump shooter apparently had 18 cell phones. I was about to be really worried about his phone bill and the phone plan, but then I remember most of them are probably with the FBI. I'm only partially kidding or conspiring. And it is also fascinating how it's been, how many months? It's October, the assassination attempt, and yet we barely know anything about the perpetrator. And yet, hours after the United Healthcare CEO assassination, we know pretty much everything about that perpetrator. Yeah, it's only when the bad guys are after Trump where all of a sudden the U.S. intelligence agency is just completely, moronic, or they just can't comprehend anything, and we never learn about anything. Only when the leftists or people attack Trump, that's when the Secret Service and all the intelligence agencies all of a sudden don't know anything. Always when it suits their narrative. Remember when you had the trans shooter in Tennessee? Oh yeah, that manifesto, they locked that down for what was it, half a year before an independent reporter reported it to the Louder Crowder team and released it to show, yeah, this trans shooter is actually anti-Christian, anti-hetero, but yeah, every time it doesn't fit the narrative, they lock down the data and they pretend like, oh yeah, we can't find it. Fascinating how it always works. Hopefully, Trump's new DOJ will be able to fix all that. But back to the specific post, thanks to, again, Lives at TikTok. She's also reposting for Mike Benz. And she says, quote, why did Trump shooter have 18 cell phones? Now, Mike Benz originally said, quote, Ryan Ruth, the long gunman Trump assassin, we were told was basically homeless, apparently had 18 cell phones and 5 different phone companies relevant to his case, plus 3 computers, 3 tablets, and 5 external storage drives, totaling that can't be right, 4,000 terabytes worth of digital footprints. That's insane. People like the average cell phone internal just give you, 4,000. Oh, he could have just said 4 petabytes, but no one knows what that is. Well, most consumers don't. I mean, your average cell phone, you can expand the memory more often than not to get about a terabyte. That's pretty standard. I mean, shoot, you can get a micro SD card with a terabyte on it. This guy had 4,000 terabytes worth of digital footprint. That's insane. And they say prosecutors seek indefinite delay in trial of alleged Trump assassination over complex evidence. Bull crap. So they're complaining there's too much data. When have you ever heard a prosecutor say, oh yeah, there's too much data, we don't want to do this? What? That's what you want. The more data, the better. The more evidence, the better. Especially when it comes to when you have this type of mass digital data, is pretty rudimentary as well as advanced ways you can scrape that data, you can analyze it, you can categorize it, and AI only makes that even easier. So it is hilarious that they're saying, oh yeah, there's just too much evidence. That'd be too much work. Wow. Some might say the greatest abomination is using a gateway desktop computer. IT pun, because that company it used to be a great South Dakota-based company, but years later they sold off to Dell, and now they're only, thrown into Walmart. I think Dell still owns the intellectual property, it's just licensing. But yeah, he had electronic diverse, he had a Dell, and a Hewlett Packard, and a gateway. He also had 3 tablets, an iPad Air, iPad 6, iPad Air, and then a GB, an Amazon Fire. And it has 5 storage disks, a micro SD of 9 gigs, which, nothing. A USB of 2 gigs, a CD-ROM, going retro, which I dived a little inside realizing that those are retro when I grew up with those. And then another SD card. They're saying it's just too many files. Really? Ridiculous. And this didn't go as viral as I thought it should. It got about, 400,000 views and 6.4 thousand likes. Now, I'm a little biased. This isn't the top comment. This most handsome one. Ha! That's a joke because it's me, hashtag The Topping Show on X, in which I say, quote, how many of the cell phones had asset tags that said property of FBI on them? Getting 3 likes. So again, I bet they're the best 3 likes of all time. Gunther Eagleman says, quote, inside job getting 323 likes. Paul Zupa says, quote, because he was managed by our government getting 31 likes. AKA says, $1 million question getting 54 likes. Livercat Media TM says, all attempts on Trump were an inside job. Changed my mind, getting 24 likes again. Going down more and more. Jerry says, who has 18 cell phones that isn't tied to our corrupt CIA, getting 60 likes. That's quite a bit. I'm only partially joking. I say, can you fathom his phone bill? I mean, on average, I know people with 2 cell phones. One that's strictly for business, where the company pays for it, and the data is segmented, so it's only on that. And I know people who have a personal device. So that's pretty common best practices in corporate America. to have a receptive device dedicated to the company for legal reasons and privacy reasons. And then I understand. 2 cell phones, pretty common in corporate America. A lot of my friends and peers have that kind of setup. And to have 18 cell phones? And that is insane. 4,000 terabytes. That's that's an unfathomable amount of data. That's also great. Scrape through it. Find the truth. And yeah, we'll see if they ever get to the bottom of this. I can't help but be somewhat disappointed when I think in all reality, maybe it'll just be, the government, what is the age-old saying? We've investigated ourselves and found we were not at fault. So I wish this would go even more viral. And again, Trump's going to get some new folks in there. There's a lot of speculation on who might become head of director at FBI, the CIA, the DOJ. There's a lot of balls in the air, so to say. But at the end of the day, I really do hope, we actually get some answers. And yeah, it just becomes more and more suspicious. But let me know what thoughts are in the comments, because as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in today. Again, try to get to 4,000 subscribers by Christmas, so you can click that button. I greatly appreciate it. Also, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or a comment is a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take the time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.